let's get into our next guest here, Jake Clark, who's been here with us this morning. Community at Village Brewery, and you guys are participating in Beerfest this weekend, but you guys are a local brewery. How long have you guys been around?
We're just a little over 3 years old now, so we're still pretty young, but we're starting to gain some traction and get our feet on the ground a little bit here in Calgary, and it's an exciting time for beer here.
That has to be daunting when you start up.
I would say that anyone who started a brewery, I mean, Stock can speak very well to this, that it's a daunting task. I haven't been with Village since they first started, but you know, hitting those milestones are pretty important. We've just recently brewed our 1,000th brew, which seems like a huge It seems like a huge number for in some capacities, but in others it's such a small number. You know, we've only done 1,000 brews in a little over 3 years, but it was a big milestone for us. We're celebrating it. We brewed a special beer. It's going to be a beer that's very different from anything we've done before. Our brewers are super excited about it, and we'll be announcing that one soon. But it's kind of to celebrate this great milestone in our history, and also to celebrate all the amazing Calgarians and the support that they've given us as a brewery, because we wouldn't be doing anything that we do without everyone in Calgary supporting us.
You will be at Beerfest.
We certainly will be, yeah, and we'll actually be debuting our newest summer seasonal there. We'll be pouring it for the first time. So
they'll actually have a pretty large footprint at the show. They've got the Village Square, which is an idea.
Nice.
It's an idea that combines local artists and the beer, which is kind of what they're all about.
Yeah.
Is there? I'll get all of you to speak on this. Is there an expectation from not only the breweries but from your clientele that they want something new each time? Or can you stay with one particular beer and just milk it for as long as you can? Or is there an expectation that it always has to be a new one?
Creating.
Yeah, always creating a new one.
Well, I think like the nice thing about doing local beer and what we do in the brew pub environment is, you know, we're always trying to tweak the beers and make them more tailored for the community that's actually drinking them. And
Give us an example.
Like when we first opened, when we first started our brewery just over a year ago here in Calgary on 11th Ave, we wanted to make a pale ale. So we launched with a pale ale, Show Pony Pale Ale, and it was great. It had a really neat hop aroma from Galaxy hops, which are Australian. It's the fairly new hop available to us anyways. But we just weren't getting something off of it, and we did some focus groups, I guess, and we showed we unfiltered it. We decided to stop filtering the product, and we tweaked the recipe a little bit, and it got a better response. And then as we go, we always try and improve the beers so that, and push Calgarians' palates a little bit too, because when you're brewing such a small scale, you're going to have a little bit of batch deviation, and now that we have like our tap room opening, we're going to have that immediate feedback loop. So as we see things be bigger hits, we'll definitely move in that direction and manipulate the beer so that they're always improving.
Have you seen trends in Calgary about what people are drinking? Are there certain certain types that?
Jake?
I think for us, we've seen definitely a growth in sort of hops and people's response to the hoppier beers. You know, we originally released our Village Maiden, which is an India Session Ale, as a seasonal beer, and we didn't think it would be necessarily part of our core lineup. It was just testing the market and testing Calgarians' palates, and people really responded well to it. They liked the increase in hops in there. They liked a little bit more bitterness in their beer, and I think that, you know, IPAs have been a growing segment of the market for a number of years now, throughout the U.S. especially, and it's coming into Canada in a big way too. But it's nice to see that there's also starting to be a shift away from just over-hopping everything and towards more balanced beers, which is exciting for brewers who, you know, talented brewers who are being able to balance beers a little more.
Well, Brett, this is what's so great about the Beerfest, is because you get a chance to sample so many.
That's exactly right. I mean, just picking up on what Jake was saying, an IPA brewed with the same recipe on the West Coast can taste completely different than an IPA that's brewed.
No kidding,
here. That's one of the cool things about the beer industry.
Yeah. But the trend seems to be that way. You would concur with what Jake was saying, so?
Yeah, we didn't expect it. We didn't really know how to anticipate the Calgary palate. And when we launched our IPA, we thought that it would be the beer geeks would really appreciate it.
There's beer geeks out there.
Beer geeks are the best.
Who knew?
And that's a funny topic on its own. But yeah, we thought that people would lend more towards the balanced beer, the show pony, but the IPA has definitely become our flagship. And I think like as people explore those hop flavors, they start finding things that they like and what they don't like. The IPA category has exploded.
Wow.
In the last 10 years, especially with the growth of specialty hops coming out of the Yakima Valley. And you know, with the weird hops that we have to brew with now, we're seeing even really big hoppy beers be less skunky or less medicinal or less earthy, and they're going back towards, you know, where people are identifying passion fruit and pineapple and lots of these weird citrus flavors.
Sure, sure.
And that's all derived from the hop profiles themselves. So it's really fun to be making beer right now.
Yeah, yeah. They almost sound like wine connoisseurs, eh?
It is.
They're talking beer geek. Beer geek language.
It's funny you mentioned that. Stock's studying to become a
beer geek?
cicerone is what they call it.
Gotcha.
It's like sommelier is wine, cicerone is beer.
It's beer.